Product photos are without a doubt one of the most important aspects of your e-commerce business. Without good photography, you're kind of screwed. It's going to be very, very hard for you to stand out from everybody else. So in this video, I want to show you my own internal processes that I give to my creative team to help them come up with ideas for how to make our product photography really pop. Now, if you like this kind of information where I'm helping you build your own e-commerce business, then give this video a thumbs up. That way I will know that you want more information just like this. Also consider subscribing to my YouTube channel because we post brand new money-making information just like this each and every day. If you've got any questions or comments, comment below and I'm going to answer that personally for you too. With that being said, let's go. Images are everything, and as we move more towards mobile as well, it gets more and more so. Let us begin. Let the evening begin. Doink. Oops. Here we go. So blur motion. I thought that image on the left was absolutely fantastic. That conveys such a sense of movement and speed and thrill. It's just a really, really clever image. And that's all done through blurring the background. It's got that kind of quintessential speed streaks coming off of it. I thought that was a really, really clever image. And if I sold something where I needed to show the thing demonstrably as being exciting or fast or something like that, that's a super, super cool way to do it. And then the other image is more of a kind of fashion related image, but I still think that's kind of interesting because it makes you look at it and it gives you a different way of thinking about the image, and it certainly attracts your attention. And as always, you know, that's kind of what we have to do with our images. All of this, by the way, well, not all of it, but like certainly the image on the left, that's done at source when the photographer takes the image, okay? The image on the right, that can be done in post-production. When they've taken the image, they can just layer up the images to have that effect onto it. So it depends on what you're looking for. Anywho, double exposure. This is a really super cool way of doing things. So look at the image on the left and think about how evocative that is and what feelings and emotions and senses that conveys to you. I really like that as a way, like if I sold a supplement to calm down people, for instance, I think that's a really neat way of demonstrating that sort of thing, for instance. And I think the image on the right, that's also done through layering. And I think that's a really neat way of demonstrating what's in the product, what's in the thing. Because if you look at that, it's like, oh, it's all nature. It's all nature in it. Very, very clever image. Great how they've used that. Next, wide angle photography. I thought about this and by the way, you know, the majority of these are not, there's a couple that would be, but not Amazon hero images. These are all what we think of as the secondary product page images, okay? But clearly, if you're selling on other platforms, go for your life, you can put whatever you want on. It's just Amazon, so it's got these kind of hero image terms of service. Anyway, so this is all wide angle photography. It gives you a much different way of thinking about it, and it kind of the way that image is captured, I think captures something kind of neat as well. Like the image on the right particularly is an image that's kind of done to death, but there's something about being done to death which makes it familiar. So if I were selling trainers, runners, then I'd think about using something like that because it's an image that's done to death, and you can get that same halo idea, like, oh, we've seen that with Nike shoes and now we're seeing it with this other brand of trainer. And so there's a bit of a halo effect between the two. Makes you think twice, makes you stop, makes you look at it. You have to, because your brain has to go, what is going on here? And it makes you think about the image. That's always great, okay? Anytime you make people stop scrolling and make them think about your images, that's a really neat thing. This one's just in there because I thought it was kind of neat to remind ourselves that the way that magazines lay out images is called the advertorial or advertisement layout. And I think that there is a lot to be said for why they do that and the testing that's gone into that. And so it's just a reminder that this layout of image works really, really well. And it's pretty obvious that as a image on Amazon or your own e-commerce website, that would work really, really well, or even in advertisements and things like that. Anyway, that's called advertisement layout. Settings. So again, the idea being you want to stop people. That is what you want them to do. You've got to get their attention. So these images have got weird backgrounds, like why is that coat in that setting? It's just kind of makes you stop, makes you look at it, makes you pay attention to it. And that's, as advertisers, as marketers, that's the stock that we deal in. We deal in attention. So that's two very, very unique ways of doing that, to grab attention, to make people stop scrolling and actually double take what it is they're seeing in front of them. Okay. I really like this. This is the hover effect. This can be, this is typically done in post-production where they Photoshop things out of the image. But as an image goes, it's very, very cool. Like you can imagine all sorts of different utilizations and products that could be sold using this. Like I love this kind of idea of the watch, for instance. That is so effective. And I also like the colors that they've used and how all those colors work together. We'll talk about that in just a second. These kind of images work incredibly well on websites, and the specific area of websites where it works really, really well is something called parallax. So parallax is where you've got a main image, and then as you scroll down, the image kind of moves with it. Like it's a very, very neat special effect that you can have on your website that makes people look again. Again, it's just a bit kind of, it's just different. It just gets people thinking about what they're doing. I really like that anyway. So that's done. These images lend themselves really, really well to this style on websites as well. Very clever. Next, the backlit images. Those skincare products look fantastic being backlit like that. It gives them a kind of like a pop off the screen that I think works really, really well. But anytime we see those backlit things, for me at least, I always think about like the heavens opening up, and it has all these kind of old things that have been embedded in my mind around God and religion, religiosity, luminousness, things like that, which I think are really neat things to play into as well. Yeah, I really like that. Then this is using hands. I see this quite often on Amazon in secondary images. I also see it with hero images. The way it can work really, really well with hero images is if you've got a product that is difficult to see in a picture. So let's suppose, you know, you're selling a water bottle and it's clear because it's got water in it. Well, if I have a hand on it, then it creates the illusion of the bottle. Like it creates a surround for the bottle that now means the bottle comes much clearer as a picture. So if you're selling something that's clear, like I saw, for instance, some jewelry holder boxes or jewelry holders aimed at, I think, I'm going to assume they were teenage girls. They're clear plastic. It would be very, very clever for somebody to sell those, but using hands holding it. So the actual product popped off the screen more. Anyway, super, super cool way. These work really, really well on Amazon. I see it on Amazon as well. There's a company called Brain Flakes that does it very, very well if you're going to want to go and research them. Still lifes. So there's a photographer, gosh, what is his name? He does really insane photography. I'll have to think about his name and get back to you. But he does this sort of photography all the time. It's pretty arty, but I think it's quite effective as well. Like the stuff that's going on can be placed into the image in such a way that it creates a much bigger story than just the product itself. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to create stories about our brand and the people who buy our brand, more importantly. So this kind of thing, still life, works really, really well to help people do that. Depth of field. This ought to be pretty obvious, but it's a way of using the depth of field on cameras to really bring something sharply into focus, either in the foreground on the left or the background on the right. And again, works really, really well. Both of those images are on Amazon as well, and I suspect they work really well. Again, it just stands out. Like your brain goes, what the hell? Makes you look. I really like it. This is a cool idea. This, again, another product that's on Amazon. I think they kind of missed a little bit of a trick here by using almonds, but nonetheless, I like the idea of it as a way of actually demonstrating what's in there. And if you've ever seen that Peter Gabriel video, Sledgehammer, where he's been kind of morphed into different things and then he's speaking with fruit and things like that, I think that as an imagery idea would be very, very useful to actually put into this frame some of the products that, or some of the ingredients that's actually in the product. Very clever way of doing it, and everything naturally leads your eye into the center of the image where the hero product is. Makes you pay attention to it. Very, very cool. Easy to do as well. Shadows being used to different effect. A very, very clever way of doing things. The image on the left would be very, very Amazon friendly as an image. The image on the right, a bit more editorial perhaps, but still, you know, you can imagine the hand doing all sorts of crazy things depending on the particular product that's being sold. I really like that as an idea as well, using shadows to create things within that. This is called a flat lay. The idea here is you just get to see everything that's in the box, everything that's in the package, okay? So it's kind of taken, as you can see, straight down image over the individual products that are out there, in the case on the right hand side with a dude in it, but it's very, very effective at showing you what's in the packaging, what's in the box. And I like the way that they've used it on the left hand side by making everything within that color. Again, some of the things get kind of lost in it, but I like the concept of that as well. And these are just some random shots that I really like. And again, the purpose of this for me is so that I can, when I'm thinking about my own product images, which I probably obsess over a little bit too much, but when I'm thinking about my own product images, I want to be able to send to the photographer a brief about what it is I'm looking for, what those images have to say, what they have to communicate, the way I want the product to appear in the images is something that most people leave up to the photographer. Well, if you use that, and I'll give you these slides as well. You could use something like this to say, hey, what I'm looking for is a image pop where we've got the product in the background and the image is blurred at the front, for instance. It gives you some kind of random ways you can use photography to get something very, very creative to get a difference on Amazon. Hey there, this is Neil-Asher from the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs. I want to say a big, big thank you for watching this video. That video actually was from the regular Monday night Q&A session, excuse me, that I have with the members of the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs. Over 2,500 of us now, and growing, by the way. We're the fastest growing community of e-commerce entrepreneurs right here in Australia, with sales, by the way, of over $50 million. Now, if you'd like to find out more about what we do at the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs and get yourself off there and come and join us, all you need to do is go to www.aussieonlineentrepreneurs.com.au, AussieOnlineEntrepreneurs.com.au. The link for that, by the way, is underneath this video, and I will welcome you with open arms and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Till then, have a good one. Bye.